Alright guys, sorry having to do this on a video. I forgot that I was going to be out on Tuesday, so we'll do a video for the remainder of this. You will still have your you will still have your test tomorrow. I am going to split up the test into 2 days. You'll take the front side of it tomorrow and the back side of it on Wednesday. Nope, that's not right. Front part of it on Wednesday, back part of it on Thursday. You will have other assignments for homework that should be fairly easy for you to figure out. But I didn't want you guys to be stressing about trying to finish it all in one day, because some of these problems do take a little bit of thinking. So, period 2, you're going to have to bear with me because I got a little farther with you guys than I did with period 1. But let me go ahead and get my scratch paper all set, and let's go ahead and finish this review. So everyone got through number 14 at least. Period 2, I got a little bit further. But let's finish these guys up. So, number 15. Find the measure of angle CAB. CAB. So that's this angle right here that I need to find the measure of. And what I notice about this angle is that it goes over here, and that this arc goes with that angle. So in other words, if I can find this arc, I just need to cut it in half to find that angle. What else I notice is that since I have a diameter, these two arcs together are going to equal 180. So for my problem, or to set up my equation to find x, I'm going to say 47x minus 2 plus 43x plus 2 is equal to 180. And if I can solve that, then I've got what x equals, and I can go from there. So 47x plus 43x, that would be 40, 80, I think that's 90x. Minus 2 and the plus 2 cancel out, so 90x equals 180. If I divide both sides by 90, x equals 2. If x equals 2, then back over here, 43 times 2 plus 2. 43 times 2 plus 2 is 88 degrees. So this arc is 88, which means the angle is half that. So the angle that I'm looking for is 44 degrees. All right. Let's see. Find the measure of arc RS. That's this arc right here. So this circle looks like it's made up of this arc and this arc, both of which are labeled. That's good. And this arc, which isn't labeled. But they give me the angle. So to find the arc, I just multiply the angle by 2. So that's 2 times 42x plus 1. And now to find x, I can add this plus this plus this and set it equal to 360. So that's going to give me, let's see, 2 times 42x plus 1 plus 31x minus 2 plus 64x plus 2 equals 360. So 2 times 42 is 84x plus 2 plus 31x minus 2 plus 64x plus 2 equals 360. Adding all my x's together, going to my calculator for this one, 84 plus 31 plus 64 is 179x. And then I have positive 2 and negative 2. Those will cancel each other out. And I have another plus 2 equals 360. Subtract your 2. 179x equals 358. 358 divided by 179, I get x equals 2. So coming back to the problem, if x equals 2 and I need arc RS, that's this arc right here, I'm plugging 2 into there. So 31 times 2 minus 2. 31 times 2 minus 2 is 60 degrees. So the arc I'm looking for is 60 degrees. Okay? Next page. Determine if line AB is tangent to the circle. Well, if line AB is tangent, then that means I would have a right angle there. And if I have a right angle there, I have a right triangle. And if I have a right triangle, that means I can use the Pythagorean theorem. So what I need to do is I need to check to see if the Pythagorean theorem works for this triangle. If it does, then yes, it's tangent. If it doesn't, then no, it's not. So this triangle right here, I know that this side total is 10. I don't know this side though, but I do know that this side is a radius. And there's one other radius given to me. It's right there. So if the radius is 6 there, it's also going to be 6 there. So I'm trying to see, does 6 squared plus 9 squared equal 10 squared? Well, 6 squared is 36, 9 squared is 81, 10 squared is 100. Does 36 plus 81 equal 100? No. That is not a tangent line. It may look like it, but it is not a tangent line. This one has some decimals, but they're all given to me, so I want to see, does 8.1 squared plus 10.8 squared equal 13.5 squared? And I went straight to my calculator. 8.1 squared plus 10.8 squared. 8.1 squared plus 10.8 squared is 182.25. 13.5 squared, guess what? It's 182.25. Do they equal? Yes, so that line is tangent to the circle. Okay. All right, find the angle measure indicated. I'm looking for this angle. What do I know about these two angles? This angle plus this angle will equal 180. So I just need to do 180 minus 125 to get that angle. And that gives me an angle measure of 55 degrees. All right, next problem. I'm supposed to assume that lines which appear to be tangent are tangent. So this appears to be tangent, so I can say it's tangent. That means I have a right angle right there. And if I look at the big triangle right here, I know 54 degrees in this corner, 90 degrees in that corner. I can find the third one by doing 180 minus 90 minus 54, and that leaves me with 36 degrees for right there. Now, this triangle, if you notice, I want you to find all the radii. This is a radius, this is a radius, and this is a radius, which means this triangle right here is an isosceles triangle. And if it's an isosceles triangle, that means these two base angles are the same. So if this is 36, guess what? That's also 36. And now looking at that, doesn't that make 180 degrees? Isn't this together going to equal 180 degrees? So I just have to take the 180 degrees and subtract that 36 degree angle that I know. 180 minus 36 is 144 degrees would be the angle I'm looking for. And there's my answer there. Okay? All right. This one, kind of similar to 19, but also similar to 20. I know that if this is 70, this angle right here is 110 because together they have to equal 180. So that's the first thing I know. The second thing I know, this side is congruent to that side because they're both radii of the circle. And if those two are congruent, then guess what? I have an isosceles triangle again. So, in this triangle, all three angles equal 180. I've used up 110 degrees of that 180, so that leaves me with 70 degrees left over for those two angles. If they have to be the same, I'm just going to divide it by 2, and that means that each one individually is 35 degrees. So there's my answer for number 21. Okay. All right, let's see what we got going on this one. Again, I have a tangent line, so that makes that 90 degrees. 46 and 90, and this angle right here make up my triangle. So 180 minus 90 minus 46 means this angle right here is 44 degrees. Now, this triangle right here is isosceles because, again, both of those sides are radii. And if both of those sides are congruent, then guess what? Both of those angles are also congruent. So now within this triangle, I can just do 180 minus 44 minus 44, and the remainder will be that angle I'm looking for. So 180 minus 44 minus 44, 92 degrees is the angle I'm looking for. Okay? Okay, so now we should be getting into the ones that we were doing just the other day on the Go Formative assignment. Go Formative assignment is still open. I will close it tomorrow, the day of the test, so make sure you got it. So this is one of those situations where this angle is equal to 1/2 of the big arc minus the small arc. Well, the small arc is 109. And I know that that angle is equal to 9x plus 8. So I'm probably going to set this up on my other paper. But how do I find the big arc? Well, noticing that this circle is only made up of the big arc and the small arc, I can take 360, subtract 109, and that's what the big arc is. It's 251. So 251 right there. Oh, I don't need the other one. So 9x plus 8 is equal to 251 minus 109, and then times 1/2 is 71. There's the equation I need to solve. Subtract 8. 71 minus 8 is 63. So 9x is equal to 63. Divide by 9, and x equals 7. So there's my answer for x. It's only asking me for x, so I'm done as soon as I get there. This one right here, same story. The angle is equal to 1/2 of the big arc, 166, minus the small arc, 46. So 7x plus 11 equals, let's see, 166 minus 46 is 120. A little glare on my calculator there. 120 times 1/2 or divided by 2 means the same thing. So I get 60, subtract 11, 7x equals, 60 minus 11 is 49. So x equals 7 here as well. Okay. Number 25. I think I might actually go to my separate piece of paper, but it's the same type of problem. Let's see, I think I can set it here so where you can show both of them. 25. So the angle, which is 45 degrees, is equal to 1/2 of the big arc minus the small arc. So 45 is equal to 1/2 of 156x minus 66. Now this one, I don't want to distribute the 1/2. You can if you want to. I don't want to. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 2, which is the reciprocal. So I get 90 equals 156x minus 66. I'm going to add 66. 90 plus 66 is 156 equals 156x, which means that x equals 1. So over here, x equals 1 is my answer. Okay? Now, this one's a little different. It's not doing, the angle isn't outside. When the angle is outside the circle, that's always angle equals 1/2 big arc minus small arc. When the angle is inside, it's angle equals 1/2 arc plus arc, the two arcs that make up that angle. So, for 26, I'm going to set it up a little bit differently. The angle, which is 15x plus 5, is equal to 1/2 of the arcs added together. So 21x plus 8 plus 8x plus 10. And that's how I'm going to find x for this one. So let's see, 15x plus 5 equals 1/2. 21x plus 8x is 29x plus 18. Again, I don't want to distribute a 1/2, so I'm going to multiply everything by 2. And when I multiply this by 2, I have to multiply everything. So that gives me 30x plus 10 equals 29x plus 18. Subtract your 29x. And let's see, x plus 10 equals 18. Subtract 10, and x equals 8. There's my answer for number 26. Okay. All right, last page. Before I start the last page, just a quick reminder, I am going to put this video in the locker for the class, so if you want to refer back to it tonight, you can go ahead and look it up in the locker. It is on my YouTube channel. If you look me up on YouTube also, you should be able to find it. Okay? All right, so number 27, they're giving you a little bit too much information. You don't really need to know that that's 26.6. All you need to know is that if you have a tangent line and a tangent line, that this is equal to this. So 5x minus 2 equals 3x plus 18. Move your 3x. That means 2x minus 2 equals 18. I'm going to add 2. 2x equals 20. Divide by 2. X equals 10. Done. Piece of cake. Number 28. I have an inscribed angle. In an inscribed angle, the arc, which is 15x plus 5, is equal to twice the angle. So that would be 2 times 55. So 15x plus 5 equals 110. Subtract your 5. 15x equals 105. Divide by 15. And x equals 105 divided by 15, 7. There's my answer. All right, 29 should look familiar. Again, its angle equals 1/2 of the big arc minus the small arc. How do I find the big arc here? I do 360 minus 101, which is 259. So, the angle 2x plus 79 is equal to 1/2 of the big arc minus the small arc. So 2x plus 79 is equal to 259 minus 101 times 1/2, or divided by 2, either way, is 79. Minus 79, minus 79. Now some people tend to freak out here when things cancel. Just means it equals 0. So I divide by 2 and x equals 0. Now, my answer cannot be 0 if I'm talking about a degree measure of an angle or an arc or the measurement of a segment. However, I'm not talking about the measure of a segment or anything. I'm just talking about a part of an angle. 2 times 0 is 0 plus 79. That still makes that angle a positive 79 degrees. So it's okay for x to equal 0. All right, number 30 is just like number 26. The angle is equal to 1/2 of the arc plus the arc. So 9x plus 4 is equal to 1/2 of 60 plus 110. So 9x plus 4 is equal to, let's see, 60 plus 110 is 170. Divided by 2 is 85. So I'm going to subtract 4. 9x equals 81. Divide by 9. X equals 9. So there's my answer right there. Now, I could ask you what's the measure of angle KGF, which is this one right here. I would start off the same way by finding x, and then when I found x, I would do 9 times 9 is 81, plus 4 is 85, and if I knew that this was 85, together those equal 180. So if this is 85, this one would be 180 minus 85 is 95 degrees. So I could also ask you that kind of a question. Okay? All right. I have a tangent, excuse me, and a secant. The angle times 2 gives you the arc. So that means that x plus 78 is equal to 2 times 39. What is 2 times 39? It happens to be 78. So x plus 78 equals 78. Guess what x is? X equals 0. Okay. And finally, 32. I think I might need to go to my other paper. I have an angle outside so that I know that it's going to equal 1/2 of the big arc minus the small arc. Now this one has a little trick to it that the other ones didn't, so watch closely on this one. Number 32. The angle is 3x plus 15. That's going to be equal to 1/2 of the big arc, 16x plus 5, minus 8x minus 5. Now there's a different situation when this arc right here, when the small arc has two terms, because technically I need that in parentheses. What does that do if I have that in parentheses? It means I have to distribute that negative sign. So I have 3x plus 15 equals 1/2 of 16x plus 5 minus 8x plus 5. So let's simplify that a little bit more. 3x plus 15 equals 1/2 of 16x minus 8x is 8x, and 5 are 10. So I'm going to multiply by 2 to get rid of that. And again, if I'm multiplying by 2 over here, I have to multiply everything. So that gives me 6x plus 30 is equal to 8x plus 10. Get your x's together. 30 equals 2x plus 10. Move the 10. 20 equals 2x. Divide by 2, and x equals 10 is my answer for number 32. Okay, so again, x equals 10. And again, if I'm going too fast, look at this later on YouTube. Look it up in the locker. You can always pause it if you want to, if you need to look at something a little bit longer. That's one of the helpful features of these videos. Okay, so let's see. We're on to our last batch. Almost our last batch. Find the measure of the angle or arc indicated. So I'm looking for this angle. If you notice, this is the same type of circumstance as number 30 up there. The angle is going to be equal to 1/2 of the arc plus the arc. Again, we only add the arcs when the angle is inside the circle. So x equals 1/2 of 5 plus 170 is 175. Yes? Did I do that right? Sorry, 50 plus 70. How about I add things right? 50 plus 170 is 220, so it's not 1/2 of 175. It's x equals 1/2 of 220, which means that x equals 110 degrees. And there's my answer. All right, number 34, I need to find this angle. Well, to find that angle, I need this arc right here. So I'm going to take 360, subtract 290, and the result will be this arc. Well, 360 minus 290 is 70 degrees. If the arc is 70 degrees, I divide it by 2 to get the corresponding angle right there, which means that that angle is 35 degrees. Okay, now we're in our last set. Solve for x. Assume that lines that appear to be tangent are tangent. Okay, get my work here. Now, these are the ones where it's a little tricky. I have to do the whole thing times the outside part is equal to this one squared. And this one's going to be the same type of problem. So what is the whole thing over here? I have x out there. I have 15. That makes it x plus 15. So the whole thing, for number 35, x plus 15. Times the outside part. The outside part is x. So x times x plus 15 is equal to the tangent side squared. So that'd be x plus 6 squared. So this one's going to take a little bit of work. Let's see. X times x is x squared. X times 15 is 15x. When I have x plus 6 squared, I have to actually write this twice and FOIL it. So this is going to get ugly before it gets nice again. So I have x squared plus 6x plus 6x plus 36. So x squared plus 15x equals x squared plus 12x plus 36. Now if I try and get the x squareds together, they're actually going to cancel out, which makes my life a little bit easier. I have 15x equals 12x plus 36. Subtract my 12x. 36 equals 3x. Divide by 3, and x equals 12. I believe the problem is only asking me for x. Yep, solve for x. So my answer is x equals 12. Again, that was the whole thing times the outside part is equal to the other side squared. Okay. I'm actually going to jump to 38 really quick because it's the same type of problem. So the whole thing, which would be 9 plus x, so let's see, 9 plus x is the whole thing times the outside part, which is 9, is equal to the tangent part, the other side, squared. So that gives me 81 plus 9x equals, what's 15 squared? I think it's 225. 225. Subtracting 81, that means 9x equals 225 minus 81 is 144. Divide by 9, and x equals, I think it's 16. Yep, there's my answer for number 38. So jumping ahead again, because it's the same type of problem, I get x equals 16. Okay. All right, number 36. I have two chords intersecting now. I'm not dealing with the angles like I was doing before. I'm dealing with the actual measurements. And the rule here said that the two parts of this chord are equal to the two parts of that chord as long as you're multiplying them together. So in other words, x times 30, which is 30x, is equal to 20 times 21. So 30x equals 20 times 21 is 420. Divide by 30, and x equals 14 is my answer there. That one was pretty easy. So that's what you do when you're dealing with the segments in your circle as opposed to the angles created there. Okay, and the last one, very similar to 35 and 38, except for the fact that the other side actually has two parts also. So this is the one where I do the whole thing, which is 8, times the outside part is equal to the whole thing, x plus 6, times the outside part. So let me write that one over here. So whole thing times the outside part is equal to whole thing times the outside part. So this is from the top line, this is from the bottom line. Set this up to get x. 40 is equal to x squared plus 6x. This one's a little bit involved, isn't it? Because I'm going to have to move the 40. 0 equals x squared plus 6x minus 40. I need to factor this, so however you learn to factor, whether that was snowflaking or a T-chart or a magic X or whatever, go ahead and factor it. You should be getting, let's see, is it 4 and 10? And I have x minus 4 and x plus 10. So my two answers are positive 4 and negative 10. So let's see, can both of those work? Well, if I look here, x itself is a measurement. So negative 10 can't work because I can't have a negative measurement. X equals 4 is the only one that can work because it's a positive measurement. Now remember, before we got an answer that was either 0 or negative, and it was okay because when we plugged it in, it made it positive. This one, when we plug it in, it's still negative, so it can't count as my answer. Okay? All right, I hope this video helps you prepare for the test tomorrow, and happy studying.